Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we got some new packages in the mail and we are going to go ahead and see what's inside. So without further ado, let us move on into the unboxing. Okay guys, so we made it to the unboxing. So without further ado, let us open the box. Okay, so let's see what's inside this little plastic wrap. Look at that. An M68 Boley. This is one of the rarest armament tanks ever to own, and luckily I have it in my grasp. Look at that. The barrel's a little damaged, but still moves, still functions. The turret even functions, especially with the machine gun on it. Man, that is very cool. So looks like I have a rare. Oh, even the turret, the gun moves up and down. That's awesome. Well, looks like I have a genuine rare tank now added to my armament world. That's what was in that small box, which, boom. Now, the next package. Here we have a bundle of blue army men, which this is a cheap brand of army men that I've seen on eBay, and I'm not really sure what the quality and quantity of the army men here is, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next phase, which is the review of the army men, though, since I already did a brief review of the tank. So let's go. Okay, so here we have the blue army set up in only by pose, because I'm going to do a breakdown on the pose instead of the entire army, which there was a bunch. So here we go. These are our poses from the 50 cal or 30 cal machine gunner all the way up to the bazooka rifleman, but we're going to do a breakdown of each. So first off, we'll start with the HMG, or the heavy machine gunner. Now these guys are pretty small compared to my other army men, but they are at the right size to be used for my other armies. So this is the blue heavy machine gunner, and you can basically use your imagination and you can create any kind of gun he has, or just be plain and simple, just call him the HMG. But I would like to think that he has like a 30 cal, since he's smaller compared to my other nations. So I'm just going to say that he has a 30 caliber machine gun. The next pose we have is a submachine gunner with a grease gun, but you can also change the gun type, or even though he has a similar gun type, you can always change the name of the gun. But this is what he looks like. He has his M3 grease gun in hand, and it looks like he can either be shooting at guys or is at ready to shoot. We have a kneeling rifleman, and this rifleman and the rifle, you can change it to any way you want. You turn it into a bolt action rifle or a semi-automatic like an M1 Garand or a Soviet 40. Either way, this is the kneeling white rifleman. Next we have the Grenadier. which is pretty simple. Basically, he has in his hand he has a stand gun with a grenade in his other hand, and he is throwing it on the field. So this is just a grenadier. There's nothing special about him, but you can always change the concept that he may have not throw regular grenades. He can throw like anti-tank grenades or something like that. So the next guy we have is an officer, and the officer can vary in different ranks, such as like a general, a major, a lieutenant, anybody. So this is an officer pose basically. Next we have the guard or patrolman or infantry, since he can be marching on the field or he could be guarding and patrolling a base / camp. It doesn't really matter, but that's what this pose is. The next pose is a proning sniper, and even though he's a little warped, like I said, they're a little cheaper because they're a little warped and lack of detail, but he's proning, and the rifle could be any type of rifle from 30-06 to a 50 cal, or it could be an anti-tank rifleman. Either way, he looks pretty cool. So that's what that pose will be covered as. The next pose we get is a standing rifleman, and the rifle itself, like I said, to the kneeling one, it can be changed into a bolt action or semi-automatic. Not a full auto though, because there's no magazine, but he does have a magazine, but it's for this rifle only. So, yep, that's that. Next, we have a assault machine gunner carrying a Sten gun. No, the Bren, carrying a Bren, and he can be just an infantryman marching on the field, shooting his way or covering for his fellow comrades as they're advancing. So this is what this guy's going to represent. And last and not least, we have the Rocketeer / Bazooka Man. And the Bazooka Man, you can change it to any kind of modern weapon or any kind of modern anti-tank weapon, or change the ammo. Doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to refer him as just the Bazooka Man because he basically is holding a bazooka. So that's what this is. Now, we're going to move on. So this is all the poses they have in that in the bag. And that's basically a brief summary of what was being presented here. So we're going to move on to the final part. Sorry for being so short. And we're just going to have to go straight into the announcements. Okay, so first of all, you must be wondering, what makes the M68 Boley tank rare? Well, let me tell you why. You see, growing up, I have watched YouTube videos of Army creators making stop motions using this type of tank. And ever since I was a kid, I always wanted that tank. I've always wanted that tank since I was very little. But it's been kind of hard to find it when you go flea marketing. And even when I was looking online for like a Boley tank on eBay, but when I was younger, it was kind of hard for me to find one because usually there was not one being sold at all. But recently, when I was on vacation, I finally saw one that was like a really good price, like $10 or $9 for the tank, and I was like, that's worth it. I mean, I need to get it, I need to buy it, so I bought it, and that's how I ended up having a Boley tank. Now, most people have actually owned an authentic Boley tank, and I could tell this is authentic because of the barrel being broken, and it even has the company on the bottom, because there's also versions of there's also 3D printed ones, but this one is an authentic plastic one, because if it was 3D printed, it would be probably a little weaker and won't work at all, and probably would be more fragile. So that's that. Now for announcements. So I am planning on doing that or basically a plastic Modern Warfare Arsenal video very soon, probably this Saturday. but it's probably going to have to be divided into parts because I'm also want to include like sound testing and shooting testing of each toy gun that I got. So the first part is going to be about guns. First part is going to be about grenades, knives or melee weapons, tools, and pistols. So that's the first video it's going to be about. And the pistols that work, basically, I'm going to show you an example. You see, I have a toy sound gun here, and this works functionally. So you will be seeing me do test fire or do ASMR with toy gun sounds. And I may give you a comparison between the toy gun and the real guns, maybe if I find the right exact replica of him. But I'll have to figure that out as I get closer. But hopefully when I have time along this week, I'll gather all my weapons, have them lined up on the table, and then start the video recording. So basically, just letting y'all know that the first part of the video is going to be coming up Saturday. So stay tuned for Saturday. Keep an eye out for your notifications. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to share these videos with your friends and loved ones. Please do this. And if you do this favor for me, I will be a little bit closer to reaching. Well, I'm still kind of a long way, but I would like to try to reach 700 subscribers. Some of you guys watch my videos and then subscribe to them, but then you unsubscribe when I'm not posting anything. So I'm trying to post more often, but you also gotta understand is I have other things to deal with my life besides YouTube, so I can't focus on YouTube all the time. But when I have the time, I will. Okay. Speaking of the Sniper Elite, I'll be uploading more videos later on this week. I forgot to upload a few, but without further ado, that's basically it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.